my daughter's going home on Monday and she's been making the pink sunflower cushion. She needs another 8 squares, so I'm just dyeing up 2 more skeins of yarn for her in the pink and a little bit of yellow in it. And I'm making a jade vine cushion. It's a little bit different than the sunflower squares, so I'll show you how I'm making those. I'll do a little tutorial on them. So I just need a few more skeins of that as well, in the bright blue, lagoon and green. We'll just let them do their thing for a while. Just need to add a little bit more water in this pan. It's getting a bit dry. I noticed if I don't have enough water with the 4 seasons, so these are the 4 seasons 4-ply merino, they can start to felt a little bit, and so this is one of the skeins. That one there. That's what I'm trying to copy in the back pan there. And I noticed that when I go to unwind it and use it, I do have to pull it apart a little bit. In some places it has a little bit felted because maybe the water was too hot or I didn't have enough water in there. So it doesn't have to be a lot of water when I'm doing this type of dyeing. I'm doing tonal colours, I'm not doing the solids, but it does have to be swimming a little bit in water. The top of the yarn can be sitting out a bit because we'll turn that over later, but we don't want it to dry out and burn either. So this one's been here long enough now. You can see the water has almost run clear on this side, the pink, and where the yellow is, it's almost run clear. I'm going to take them out. I'm not leaving them any longer because I don't want any more, I don't want it to turn orange. I want to keep that hot pink. And in this one, yeah, I ended up having to take one skein out, which worked out all right, but the other one just went too much green. So I'm just doing something completely different with that one. I'll do another jade one in a minute because I really want this to look like that. So I need to have less dye and just put a little bit of it and leave some white. So we'll take these ones out now and rinse them off. I want to keep that hot pink colour. There's a couple of the ones that I dyed, so I like that one. That's got the jade and a little bit of yellow, and when I wash that in the machine it'll probably come out a bit lighter again. And then we have the pink one with a little bit of yellows in it. So I'm now going to dye some Nundle woolen mills, which is these longer skeins. They're 100 gram, whereas the other ones are just 50 grams. So that's my second jade yellow one. That hopefully will come out like that. Keep a lot of white in it. And I won't keep it in too long, but I now want to dye some 100 gram skeins, and I want to try something completely new. I'm not sure which colour I'm going to do with this one yet. Maybe, I haven't got many purples, so I'm thinking maybe something in purple. Yeah, to go with our beautiful plant that we have out the front, which is the Patria. So it kind of looks a little bit like, I can't even think of the name of it now. But every time someone sees it, they say, is that one of those? Anyway, it'll come to me and I'll put the name in here. But it's called a Patria. It's a hanging vine and it gets this beautiful purple and white flower probably 3 or 4 times a year. And I'll pop some photos in so you can see it, and I'd like to try and copy that today. So I've just thrown in some dusk, that's that colour there, which is a pretty purple. I'm going to keep that first skein mainly white with just a few speckles of purple, and then I've got another 2 skeins which I might make a little bit more tonal. You can Can you see that? Just a little bit of a bluey purple splashes in there. And I might make the next one mainly that. So let's just see how this one works out first. Need a bit more water on this side here. It's running a bit dry. Now it seems with this particular colour, which is called Mango, it seems to be very dominant. So whenever I put a green with that yellow, even though I only put a few speckles, the yellow takes over. And I don't want that. I want mainly the jade to come through. So perhaps I'm a bit heavy-handed with how much I'm putting in. I might not leave that in there too much longer. And the purple ones can keep going. I hope you're enjoying just experimenting along with me. Don't know what I'm doing, I'm just practicing, playing, learning how to mix colours. I think I showed in one of my other dye videos that I just bought these little sample pots. They came in packs like this of 6. I had the 4 seasons, so that one's autumn, summer, winter, spring. And then I had 4 different landscape ones, so that's these colours here. They're all landscape dyes, but they come in different ranges. So these ones here, I got, you can see they're desert, mountain, coastal and rural, and then you've got a little guide there of what the colours are. So this purple one I've just put in is Dusk, which is part of the desert range, and Sun Orchid. And yeah, I'm nearly running out of a lot of the colours that I've done already. The sample pots, I think if they come in 20 grams, so you can dye a few skeins of a solid colour with those, but I've only been mainly doing tonals and speckles, so they've lasted me a bit longer, but it's time to order some more. So I'll do that in the next few days. So I'm getting into a little bit of a niche now of knowing which colours I want to go for that are coastal, and also that blend in with our garden, different things that bloom in our garden, like the jade line blooms in the spring. I really love that colour. That's sort of the colour that we've got in our, so the aqua teal jade colours that we've got in our sunroom. So I want to add some accessories in there. And then for our lounge room, it's more looking out on the front yard where we have the Petrea, which is the pretty purples, and the lighter greens, like that cushion that I made for my daughter. So I probably will dye some more of those ones up and make something for our lounge room in the lighter greens, the more gum leaf colours. But I've run out of those dyes now, so just focusing on the backyard and sunroom at the moment. And then what else have I been doing? Oh, and then I've done the beach colours, which they sort of blend in with our sunroom as well. Yeah, which is more your jades, and I've got some darker blues and reds and oranges. They're not really my colours, so I may even end up selling those, unless I make something out of it for someone else. They're not colours that I would use in my house. And then, yeah, so the more sand colours, coastal sand colours, I need to order some more of those, so I can make the more sandy beach sort of type colours as well, to go in with that Marulga yarn thing. So you can see here, I've finished off my 2 pinky orange ones. I'm happy with those. That one's a little bit too orange. I think my daughter wanted more pink, but anyway, it is what it is. I'll have to do one more pink one for her, I think. And then I did this. This is the one I've left a lot of white, a little bit of purple. It's not quite the colour of the Petrea. I'm realising now it's the bluey colour that I'm looking for. And that's the last greeny one that I did. It's got some nice splashes of yellow in there and a lot of jade, and quite a bit of white on the other side that I've left. So I've got my 3 jade ones, and starting with my purples, and I think I need to do one more pink for my daughter. She's not going to want that yellow in there. So I'm going to do one more little skein of lipstick for my daughter. Just pinks, nothing else. I'm just splashing it on very lightly. I don't want to waste that dye, so I'm going to probably do another one just so I've got something with that. And so just that's it, leaving it alone now. Need to turn that on. Turn up the dials and just let it sit because she just needs one more pink skein to finish off her squares. Turn that up. And that one, and now we want to do the sun orchid, which kind of looks blue, not purple. Not sure if I've got another one that's a bit more purpley blue, like a lavender. It's almost like a lavender colour. Let's see what else I've got. What was that? So I've got some hyacinths and some iris. I'm going to do one of each. This looks like it's going to be a really dark purple hyacinths. And iris. Let's see what you are. So these are colours that I haven't actually used before, so I really need to just experiment with them and see what combinations I'm going to get. It almost looks exactly the same as hyacinth. Maybe it's not. So to me an iris is that sort of purple with bright yellow. That's hyacinth according to their dyes, and this sort of more, it's got a lot more pink in it, I'd say. Purple is the iris. It doesn't look like an iris to me. But anyway, let's see what they come out like. We'll just leave them alone, and our pink one's cooking over there. See how we go with those. So the purples are going really nice, love those. And I've got that lipstick left over, I want to use it up now. So I've just got 2 skeins of Baby Bliss 4-ply that I've soaked in a bucket already, and I'm going to dye them up with that last little bit of lipstick now. They won't be for my daughter's cushion, but I'll just save them for myself, something else later, or maybe I can sell them. Splash, splash, splash. That's it. No rhyme or reason to it. Just letting it do what it wants. There's a spider over the fence. So in Australia we have lots of big spiders in the garden, and these are golden orb spiders. He's quite big, and he spins his web in the neighbour's roof to our fence every morning. And he's just sitting there over the fence outside my dyed skeins. So thank you, Mrs. Spider. You just stay right there where you are. Still dyeing the purple ones. You can see the water's nearly running clear. I'll leave it just a bit longer. Tonal ones, I don't turn them over and do the other side, because what I'm finding is that the dye, when it seeps into the water, if I pick them up now, the other side of the skein is already picked up those colours. But I want to keep some white, so I'm just going to leave it like this. If I turn it over, the whole skein will turn purple. And the same with the pink one. Very lollipoppy. but yeah, sorry, these are the 4-ply ones. I just want to keep those bright little pink ones. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. So this is probably the most wool I've dyed so far in one go. I normally only do like maybe 5, 6 at the most skeins. I think I've done about 12 now, adding in those extra ones, or maybe 10. And yeah, that's exhausting for me. I don't have a lot of energy, but I didn't want to waste those little pots of the last bits of dye that I had, so I wanted to use them straight away. Didn't want to tip them down anywhere. I recycled all the old colours that I had. All right, so I'm going to just rinse these out now. I won't take you through the whole process again. You've seen my other dye videos, how I rinse these out with some wool wash and pop them in the washing machine and then let them dry. I'll be back to show you the finished skeins when they're all done. So here's all my skeins for today. So I dyed 11 skeins. I just want to explain something to you. Okay, so now these first 3 were the 4 Seasons 4-ply from Spotlight. Can you see how they're slightly fluffier? So they do get a little bit felted. They're not undyed yarn when I buy them. They're very cheap. They're only $2.50 a ball, but they're not undyed. And so I'm over dyeing the cream and white skeins. And so I don't know if that's the reason or if it's just the type of wool that it is. It is 100% merino. It does felt a little bit when I over dye them, which is okay when I'm doing cushions or maybe a table mat or something a little bit harder wearing. But I probably wouldn't make something nice and soft like a blanket or something like that else out of those. Just personally, I wouldn't. And then these are also from Spotlight. They were the last 2 that I dyed because I wanted to use up that beautiful lipstick that I had. And they are Baby Bliss, Bella Baby, I think it's called, Baby Bliss 4-ply. Now, they're also 100% merino, but look how beautiful and separated the fibres stay. Lovely and soft. So the 4 Seasons one, yeah, not as nice yarn, but I mean, I made my peach cushion out of that, and my daughter was the pink one that she's making. The yellow one I made, I think I used the Nundle Woolen Mills. So yeah, and there's the green skeins that I need for my jade vine cushion that I'm currently making. So they came up all right. There's that one that is a bit of a reject one with the purple in it. Reminds me of a green frog. Not my favourite colour combination, but yeah. So once they dry up, I'll be able to like separate them, steam them, and they will still come up nice, but they are a bit more fluffy. And then the other 3 purple skeins that I did were the Nundle Woolen Mills, and they look how beautiful they look. So that one was the first one I did with a little bit of purple and blue. Kept a lot of white in it. That one was the one that they called, was it Hyacinth or Iris? I think that's the one that they called, no, that's the one they called Iris, this one. To me, that doesn't look like an iris colour. This looks more like an iris colour. And this one was called Hyacinth. But to me, it looks a lot more like a blue. So none of those are the Patria colour that I was wanting. So I'm going to have to find another purple to do the Patria. But they're still lovely purples and I will use them. So there they all are, hanging out to dry. I've got a beautiful sunny blue summer day. It will probably take about 30 minutes and they'll be fully dry. So this is this morning's dye lot that I did. So I'm just going to show you how they turned out and then compare it to what I was wanting to do and also talk a little bit about the yarn. So I'll start off with the 3 green ones. So these are the ones I dyed up the other day. You remember, greens with a bit of yellow, and I'm going for that sort of jade vine colour, like our jade vine in our backyard that we have. So excuse the move, I've had to move out to the front yard now because my husband's doing some work in the backyard and I can hear him using a hammer and a grinder, and it's quite noisy there. And anyway, so please excuse a little bit of traffic noise here if you hear some. We do have some cars going past occasionally. All right, so what I was saying is I wanted to try and copy the jade vine that we have that grows in spring out in the backyard, and that's the squares that I've started making. It's a slightly different sunflower or sunburst design than what I was doing before, and I will show you that one too. I actually think this is quite a pretty one, starting with the puffs in the middle as well as the second row. So I will do a tutorial on that one if anyone would like that. So that's the colour I had before, green, jade, a little bit of purple, and then I had this lighter one, so they will be sort of the alternating squares. And I've only got this one ball left. I think I need another 16 squares still. And then I had this one which had quite a lot of yellow in it, so I wasn't really wanting to use that one. This morning I dyed up these three, you'll remember. That one's got quite a bit of yellow in it as well, but it's still got that lovely jade, minty green sort of colour coming through, so I'm happy with that one. And that one I'm also happy with because it's got that lovely blue jade colour coming through. But like I was saying to you when I was doing the dyeing, the 4 Seasons Spotlight yarn, the wool, has already got a bit of a halo on it, and it has already been dyed white and cream. And so I'm over dyeing it, and I don't know if that's the reason why, or because it's a different wool. It's maybe not as good a quality wool, that it does get this kind of halo. I don't know if you can see that. And so it gets a little bit felty when I over dye it and I've dried it. I mean, that one is really not a good example of finish, but I mean that one's much nicer. So, but it'll be all right because, as I said, I'm only doing it for a cushion, and the only reason I'm using these particular yarn at the moment is because it is very cost effective, and I can try out all my different dyes to see what I actually like and what I want to do long term. Do the sample pot of dyes on this more affordable yarn first, and then when I'm happy with the colours that I want to dye to sell, then I'll use that on the better wool, better yarn. All right, and then that was that other one that I dyed that I said was green and purple. I don't love it. I don't really even like it, but it'll work into something, but probably not this cushion. It's just too different. Whereas these ones, you know, you've still got the same colour ranges in it. Yeah, you know, I can work with those. So those 3 will be fine. This one will go to use it for something else. All right, so that's the jade. And then the next one I did was the pink. So my daughter only really needs to do another, I think 4 squares. I counted up all her squares, so she needs 32, 16 for each side. I think she said she's already done 16 and then 12 for the other side, so she needs another 4, and she's just run out of wool, so that's her squares there. She's got the lighter pink and yellow, and then the darker pink and yellow will be the alternate squares, and there's another type of one there. So this morning I dyed up that one. That was the one that I just threw in speckles of lipstick and kept it white and pink, so that's fine. But the other ones where I added a little bit more yellow actually came out quite dark. And remember I said to you, if I leave it in for too long, the yellow and the pink seem to run together, and then I end up with an orange. I mean, that's beautiful. I love that. They're colours that I love, but she won't need them for her cushion, so they will probably just be going into my stash for something that I want to use. And there's the other one as well. So it's got a lot more pink and orange in it with very bright mango yellow. So I will have to remember that for next time, that yellow, that mango yellow is very overpowering. See, there's another one. That was one that I dyed previously, and that one the other day, remember? But they were too dark for her cushion. She didn't want those dark, and she didn't want all that yellow in there, that bright yellow. So that one will be just enough for her, and these will go in my stash for something else that I can make. Maybe a cushion that I can sell or give to somebody else. All right, so that's those pinks. I had that little bit of lipstick left over in the container, that last little bit that I added hot water to, and I didn't want to waste that, so I made up these 2 beautiful Bella Baby Bliss 4-ply yarn from Spotlight, and it's beautiful and soft. Really lovely. Again, the pinks, yellows and oranges that I love. I think I've previously made a few skeins of this, and so these will just be added to that stash. And I can make maybe a a blanket or something and add that in. But yeah, that's my 4-ply yarn, which I really love. All right, and then I was going for purples. Remember I said to you that I was going for a purple that we have out in the garden in the front yard here. It actually grows above this structure here, and you can just see the top of it, that vine just growing there where my finger's pointing. Is it pointing? Right there. That vine there, it grows over the whole canopy. It's called a patria. And 3 or 4 times a year, actually last week, it just stopped flowering. It has these beautiful drops of purple flowers that start off a really deep purple and then turn out white just before the flowers drop. And it's called a petrea. And it looks very similar, and I still can't think of the name of it. No, I can't think of it. When I think of it, I'll pop the name in there. But it grows up there. And so I wanted to try and put something in our lounge room, because our lounge room looks out on this garden, that will, you know, blend in with those colours. So previously I have actually dyed a 4-ply yarn, but I was wanting to do an 8-ply to make a cushion for our lounge room. And for when that flowers, I can pop it in the lounge room and it sort of just looks beautiful. And I've also got a another purple blanket that I did, that Sandra from Cherry Heart, her baby blanket, her Painted Roses baby blanket. I've got a blanket in those sort of purples and blues, and that's also in my lounge room. And I've got a beautiful African violet that looks out on this yard. So I wanted to make a cushion that will go with all of that. And this is the colours I was going for, but that's not what I ended up with. So the first one I did, remember, was this purple. Sorry, I just put my skeins on this table that had a bit of dirt on it. And I've just washed them too. Anyway, so that one is mostly white, although it's gone sort of like an off-white now, greyish colour, with splashes of purple and speckles in there. It's got some beautiful speckles. I mean, they will blend beautifully together, but they are a 4-ply and this is an 8-ply. And then I tried, remember, the iris and hyacinth. Was it iris and hyacinth? Yes, it was. So that was the one that they said was iris colour. To me, that looks like just a really bright purple. It's not the colour that I was thinking of. I mean, I'll make up some squares and I'll see how they look. They might still look all right. They might still blend in with everything. And then this one was the one that they called hyacinth. Yeah, hyacinth. But to me, it's a really sort of bright blue, dark blue. It's beautiful. I mean, they're beautiful colours, they're beautiful yarn, but they're not the purples that I was looking for. So I'll keep trying. But anyway, at least I'm learning, you know, the different dyes to use and what colours do what. And I'll be able to re-dye some skeins when I want to match those colours, because now I've recorded them, I'll know what they are. So anyway, that's today's dyeing. I'm really happy with that. 11 skeins I did today, so that was great. There they all are, those ones. And these two, where did that other one go? Oh, it's fallen on the floor. And these two Baby Bliss ones. So that's all the colours. They're all bright colours, aren't they? But that's okay. I like the bright colours for some things. For some rooms in my house, like the sunroom, looks really nice with bright colours because we live in the tropical climate. And for other rooms, I just want more muted colours, like the lounge room and our bedrooms are just muted, you know, beiges and creams, and then I like the soft greens and things in there. Okay, so that's today's dyeing, and I hope that you enjoyed that video. Give me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe. If there's any colours you'd like me to dye up to try, let me know and I'll try them next time. I've actually got a friend coming over next week once our children leave to go home from being here on holidays, and she's going to do some dyeing with me. She's never dyed wool, but she loves dyeing everything else. All her life she said she's loved dyeing, you know, tie-dye and t-shirts and fabric and whatever. So I'm really interested to have her over and play with some dyes with me, dyeing up some wool and see what we can come up with together. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.